What's up, guys? We've got the team associated RC8B3e. This is the new 8-scale electric buggy based on the new 8-scale platform from Team Associated. It is very similar to the Nitro buggy, as most manufacturers share parts between the electric and Nitro versions. It shares 90% of the parts. Makes sense if you already have the Nitro buggy. And I just wanted to point out something really quick. I noticed on the box, this is a vintage box here. It says 27-time World Champion. Considering that the IFMAR Worlds just happened for two-wheel drive buggy, that's kind of need an update. This box right here is a collector's item. Not really. So let's check it out. Alright, I have a feeling I know what we're going to find in here. Aluminum chassis, aluminum shock towers, bam! 6 universal drive shafts. Alright, right here we've got some springs and shock fluid, it looks like. 30 weight and 37.5 weight full bottles of shock fluid. For the rear springs, I see some blue. For the front springs, blue as well. They use shrink wrap there. You can put on the coil of the spring, heat it up, and it stays on there. So you have some quick identification. Pretty nice how they do that instead of paint that wears off. That's how some companies do it. Let's see here, bag F. This looks like the front gearbox, front upper arms, and some hinge pins in there. Some pretty burly looking hinge pins. Side guards and servo saver parts here in bag D. There are also bearings for our servo saver assembly. Looks like the steering post is blue aluminum, as well as the collar. I like how they've done this with the collar for adjusting the tension on the servo saver spring. There is a screw there to tighten it down so it doesn't come loose. Very cool design. Tools. Got our wing here and blue anodized wheel nuts and tennis straw. These are serrated and open wheel nuts. I'm not sure what this is here. I think that's actually some double-sided Velcro or tape. It's just double-sided tape. There's some body clips in there also. H1. So we've got the front bumper, axles, and I guess you could call those the knuckles. This is a pivot ball design. It's very similar to the Mugen. And it's a good system. It works well. There's other miscellaneous hardware in that bag as well. Let's check out the body. Let me move the box to the side here. Not trimmed. It is a Pro-Line body. It says so on the back. It's printed here with some part numbers. Let's look. It says Pro-Line Predator body. Numbers 3, 4, 5, 3. I don't know how well that shows up there, but it's there. Pretty cool body. Got a front nose here. It's also molded in. Needs to be cut out. But it feels pretty good. And it looks good too. I like this body. It doesn't have a whole lot of lines going on. It's kind of a little bit more simpler compared to some of the stuff out there, but it'll do the job. Moving on. Arms. Woo! Hold on a minute. This is bag J. I think these are rear arms. I see some mud guards here, plastic. And there is our wing mount. This is a one-piece wing mount. This is a cool system how they've done this. I first saw this on the Hot Bodies car, the D815, I believe it is. More hinge pins back here, as well as more hardware. There's actually 2 one-piece wing mounts here. One is probably to raise it up higher, one is to drop it down. Rear chassis brace, plastic. I'm not seeing any aluminum parts in here so far, except for the miscellaneous things we've seen. Rear hubs, aluminum axles, or not axles, yeah, these are the wheel axles. Let's see, turnbuckles and ball ends for bag L. This is our battery box. See a Velcro strap, hardware, bunch of various foams in here. 2 Velcro straps. Yep. What's this? Looks like our center gear spur gear cover and some posts to go along with it. More hardware. Plastic. Bag. Oh! Bunch of hardware and 2 sway bars. This is all sway bar hardware. It looks like there is some green shrink tubing for the front. I assume it's the front sway bar, the smaller one. The rear sway bar, I'm not seeing any shrink wrap in here. I take that back. There's blue and green, although I'm not sure which goes to what sway bar. I can't help you there. Not sure. 2 more bags stapled together here. This is our radio box here for your receiver and your steering servo. Kind of a cool molded on lid here for the receiver box. It's just kind of loose in there. And this, I imagine, is the hardware for that. And some small little aluminum spacers in this bag. I'm not exactly sure what this is for. Oh, now there's a steering servo horn in there, so this is going to be the steering linkage setup. So there's little plastic molded inserts that will go inside the servo horn to allow you to use the 3 most popular brands of servo splines. What else do we have? Shocks. Ooh, these are pretty nice. Blue aluminum threaded shock collars, bladders, nice looking shock bodies, as well as these gold coated, I believe they're like tin coated shock shafts. I think they're 3.5 millimeter thick. Unfortunately, there are pistons in here on a parts tree. You're going to have to trim them. No machined pistons. Okay, diff fluid. Let's see. And a bunch of bearings. Oh, look at this, a carbon fiber top plate for the steering area. 10,000 weight diff fluid and 7,000 weight. 10,000, 7,000. Whoa, okay. There's a supplement here attached to the bag with all 3 diffs. Let's see really quick. Use the thick gasket in the center diff only. Alright, we can do that. I noticed one thing about this kit compared to the Nitro version. This uses what looks to be an identical spur gear, although it's plastic. On the Nitro version, it's a lightweight aluminum spur gear. Both same teeth count. So we've got one final big bag here. Let's just pull out, you've got your manual, standard stuff. One big bag with the chassis and some other hardware, window masks for your body, and lastly, some decals. Let's get this chassis out. Give me a minute. Alright, the bag is open. Let's see what we've got really quick. This is bag N. This is an aluminum motor mount there. Pretty nice, anodized blue. It's got some nice milled pockets here on one of the sides. The other side is just completely flat, this upper piece. Let's see. Bag E. More steering parts. This steering plate here is aluminum. I believe it's aluminum, at least. It doesn't look like steel. I'm sure it's aluminum. It's black anodized. Bag G. We have a bunch of aluminum suspension hangers here, as well as one universal drive shaft. It's probably for the center front because it is quite a bit shorter, and an aluminum front shock tower. This looks like the rear, much larger aluminum shock tower, more suspension hangers, as well as 3 universal drive shafts in here, 2 for the rear and then 1 for the center rear. And there's also some hardware like this tiny little, says 44/13. That's going to be the pinion gear inside the gearbox right there. It looks like there's some other miscellaneous hardware for the shock tower. Bag K. Bag I, here are our aluminum inserts for the front steering, blue aluminum, as well as the pillow balls and the front universal drive shafts. One more bag. Alright, so bag B. These are our outdrives as well as two large conical gears. These are straight cut. Again, these also say 4413, 44 tooth conical, 13 pinion gear. Bag B and the chassis. Woo. Pretty nice. There's not a whole lot of milling going on out here. There are some large pockets here, but compared to some chassis we've seen, it's a little bit minimal, although it doesn't really matter. The bottom side here looks good. Everything is nice and smooth. Countersunk holes. Kind of rounded up here on the sides a little bit. Front kick up. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. Nothing going on in the back, but it looks pretty darn nice. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want more information on this kit, you can check out the link down below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button so you see future awesome RC Nacho Buffalo sauce sprinkled on pizza. And until next time, peace.